Today's video is brought to you by Assiniboia Downs Gaming and Event Center. Be sure to tune into this channel live Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern for Monday Night Lights, hosted by Trust the Profits.
Yo, what's up, everybody? We're talking Saratoga. It is midsummer, the prime of the summer season. Saratoga is the summer place, and we have a summer place person here with Vinny Blond joining me for the first time in a long time. Vinny's been on several other shows a few times, but we haven't had Vinny on in a long time. And we're, by the way, capping the card, formerly with our boy Matthew DeSantis, who has retired now and gone on to bigger and better things. But me and Vinny are going to carry the torch, get you some winners here for Saratoga, Saturday, July 22nd. What's up, Vinny? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, it's been a hot summer so far up here.
Yeah, it has here. I'm in South Carolina, so it started off very rainy, but the last couple of weeks have been scorchers, boy. Uncomfortable. So we have a big card on Saturday. Let's get right into it, man. We got a big card to cover, so let's jump right in. We have 11 races.
Yeah.
We're going to give you just like Matthew used to do, we're going to do a top pick, a win pick, essentially, and then a value play, the best value play on the board. And you'll see race one here, me and Vinny, identical picks here. I don't know. It's probably not going to happen often, but it's a good place to start. You know, I went right away. The 7 horse in race number 1, noted. Todd Pletcher and Irad. I mean, probably a 2-to-1 morning line. That combination is going to get bet down for sure, probably to even money, but it's hard to get around that horse. Vinny, you felt the same on that one, obviously.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I feel like this is a horse I'd normally try to go against. Didn't win, took money last time out and came in second. But I feel like they saved this one for a big day. I also feel like Irad's going to have a big Saturday with a few of the other jockeys going the Monmouth. So
yeah, that's true.
I think this horse is even if he doesn't win here, I think he's gonna be right there. So yeah, he was just too hard for me to get around.
Yeah, and we also agreed on the best value play at 5-to-1, Noble Wave, the 4 horse. And listen, dude, I avoid Jose Lezcano at all costs normally. Not my guy. No offense, Jose, if you're listening, and I know you are. Just doesn't work for me normally. But I at 5-to-1, I mean, listen, the way the field sat on the morning lines, the way they folded out, it was the best value to me. You agreed. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a great betting race 1. It does get better from here, though. But what do you?
Yeah, they're coming out of the same. Like the 4 is coming out of the same race as the 7 is. He ran 5th in that race, where the 7 ran 2nd, and he didn't have on replay. He didn't have the best of trip. I'm with you. I don't use Lezcano all the time, but in turf sprints, I do like Lezcano. I know he hasn't really done fantastic so far this meet, but I don't know. I thought 5-to-1 was pretty good value on this one, considering I didn't really love anything else here.
Well, he's consistently at the good tracks and in big races, so he's doing something right. But yeah, not my guy either. So from there, let's move on to race 2. This gets interesting. We have the same value horse, but let's talk top picks. I went with the Cox and Flavian joint, 3-to-1 morning line odds. The number 2 horse, Deputy Connect. Vinny landed on the 5. What are we doing here?
So the 2, your top pick there, Deputy Connect, and then the 4, Paddington, I think are gonna be the top 2 betting choices. And they're both coming out of races that they ran big races in the slop. And
yeah,
going back and looking at what they usually run, with speed figure wise, I feel like the slop might have elevated them a bit, and the 5 kind of just runs just as well every time, and Irad stays on. Irad was on last time at 7 furlongs at Belmont, and the horse came in second. They're stretching out to 2 turns today. I just thought this was more of a the horse makes sense if the other 2 regress off of the sloppy track form.
My take on this race 2, was that it's the type of race that you really can't bet until post time or within a few minutes, because I don't know where these odds are going. I don't these two horses you're talking, and then there's a couple others that they're all going to have a lot of balance with the way the money comes in. If the two goes off at 3-1, I like them. A lot of times, I think a lot of conservative play with the morning line on the favorite or the top two favorites. A lot of times they'll get bet harder than that. Maybe like a 3-1 goes to like, I don't know, 2-1 or even 9-5 or something like that. But if you can get the two at 3-1, I like them. I don't think you will. But we did agree on the value play, number 6, Centavo, 8-1. And here's the thing. Here's one thing. We talked about not loving Lezcano. Dylan Davis on a bomb. I don't like Dylan Davis on a good horse. I like Dylan Davis on a bad horse. For whatever that's worth.
I usually just don't like Dylan Davis, but he's been for the last 2 years. He really
only shows up when he's on a bad horse.
He's been proving me wrong the last couple of years. I mean, I've definitely been using him a lot more frequently. He's off to a very good start, I think, at Saratoga.
He's the king of overachieving with a bad horse.
Yeah,
for what it's worth. The same way that Irad's the king of shitting the bed on a favorite, Dylan's the king of overachieving on a bad horse. And when he's on a decent horse, he doesn't show up.
Yeah.
But that's just my take.
Yeah. So I this horse 2 back ran in a grade 2. Did no running that day really, but came back, ran a decent third in the slop. There's some speed in this race. He could get lucky in this. The horses hit the stretch and there's some of them just don't move, and he just passes. He can pass some tired horses. I think 8-1's more than a fair price for a horse. I would give him a very good shot at least to finish in the try.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's how I felt at 8-1. He's a legit value play there. Probably wouldn't put him on top, but with Dylan, you never know. Keeping it moving right along. Let's go to race 3. What do we have here? Number 7, I have the Strictly Taboo, the Dylan Davis again, baby. I can't get enough of him, apparently. And the Clement joint, 9-2 morning line odds. And you want a different direction here with the Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt joint, the number 5 of Heldsburg. Talk to me about race number 3 here, because I mean, we both took a little bit of a shot here. Not much on the top pick, but I went with a shot in the value play. So talk to me about this race. It felt pretty wide open.
Yeah, it feels wide open. It really, on paper, it is. Chad with these first time starters on big days is just like I can't really like. That was kind of really my thing here. I didn't love anybody who had experience here, so I was like, all right, well, Chad's debuting a horse on a Saturday at Saratoga. Yeah. And Pratt's on. It was just kind of hard to get around. Horses, some decent works. Would not be I'm not super confident in this race. My value play at 4-1. Horse has some experience, but most of it's on the dirt. His 2 turf races though weren't terrible, and he gets a jockey upgrade to Irad from Franco. So
I love this horse 2 back. You're right. The jockey upgrade could be the difference.
Yeah, and I don't think there's it's a rad, so maybe this horse gets bet down, but I feel like this is one of those that we could be saying oh, how did we let Irad and Clement go off at 6-1?
Yeah.
I just think it's for how the horse has run before. I think it's good value. The Bond horse is the favorite, and Bond he's been struggling this year to win, so it was kind of an opportunity, I thought, to get away from the entry.
Full disclosure on my value play, the 8. Don't love him, but it's one of those races where it feels wide open, and he was the better of the 3 or 4 quote unquote bombs. So at 10-1, I don't know, maybe. Again, not a lot of confidence betting him there. Not a lot of confidence in that race. This is a spread race for me in horizontals. I don't know. Not a great race. So far, we're kind of the first couple were, I don't know, reasonable. That third race seems like the toughest so far. Let's move to race 4. Here we go. We agreed on the top choice. Chelino.
Yeah.
And I think we can agree that the Lindy Rice Jose Ortiz combo is very scary to bet against, and I'm pretty sure that's why we're both on this one horse at 2-1. Not going to go off at 2-1, by the way.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, like I looked through the field to see if there was anything I could logically put against her, and I didn't see it. She just looks. This horse just looks a miles best of the rest of the field, and she's getting horses to do things they don't do. So
It's a single, right?
Yeah, I think I think you have to single here. If you don't single, this is one of those horses you either single or you use a handful of others and you try to beat.
Yeah.
And
that's why you see our value play. We both reached. I mean, I'm on a 10-1, and if there's a better guy than Dylan Davis on a toilet horse, it's Ricky Santana Jr. He scores big on bad horses. Not to say that Yono is a bad horse, but 10-1. Nobody's beating Chileno, but if something goes sideways, who knows? I'm on the 2 at 10-1. I thought I was reaching. You went with the 20-1 bomb.
Yeah. Honestly, this was my value pick because of the time form late pace figure. You got a 97 late pace figure, which is, I believe, the tops in this field, if I remember correctly. Looking at it quick now. Yeah, this is the fastest late pace figure time form. That was kind of my angle, is that like if the one really is the goods and the others get tired of chasing because they all want to be kind of near the pace, that this horse can just kind of pick up pieces. I had a similar bomb today that came in third at like 12-1 in one of the races. So it was kind of the same logic, that it was just like, oh, well, this horse is just going to pass tired horses in the stretch.
Yeah, put them underneath, man. I get it. Race 5. Undervalued asset. We both hit. Chad and I read. I will say this. I have a huge personal rule with Irad Ortiz Jr. at any track. It doesn't matter the track. When he's on the favorite, morning line favorite, he doesn't win. Unless it's a Chad Brown horse. And then he gets the job done. And you can call it collusion or whatever you want to call it with his brother and all this stuff. I'm not even getting into that. I'm just saying, when he runs for Chad gets his best effort. And it's scary to bet Irad on a favorite, but undervalued asset's the best horse here, and he's going to win.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Chad Brown on dirt with Colts, but he's always been very good with his fillies on the dirt.
Yes.
No, 3-year-old filly here. She probably, like, I don't know how good she really is if she's in this spot, but the horse that beat her last time came back to run a very good second or third, I forget, last weekend. Vava.
Yeah.
She ran second or third out of like a decent. She was like 8-1 too. So I think the race she's coming out of was actually pretty good here. Like you said, like I just like looking through the rest of this field with the lower prices. I'm not a huge fan of Pratt on dirt. He's very good on turf. He's still suspect on dirt, in my opinion.
Totally.
My value play is the 3, but that still has Leparoux. Again, like the horse has just been consistent, and it is a jockey upgrade to Leparoux, which is why I put the horse second. The workouts have been fine since the last start, but still Leparoux on dirt, not my favorite. Cancel's back on the 4, who's a bomb. And you have Franco on the 5 for Noda, who has been non-existent really. He's had a couple board hits, but nothing fantastic. His main competition's his brother, I thought, with the 6, the Huntress for Hire for Al Stahl. And
yeah, I landed on the 8 without a lot of confidence either. 5-1 also morning line. The Asmussen, Flory Giroux. I don't know. I couldn't. To be honest, full disclosure, not a lot of confidence in this value play, but it's kind of a roulette wheel play. I'm hammering the 1, and that's probably about all I'm going to do in that race, unless if he goes sub like 4-5 or something. I don't think you can even touch this race except for horizontals. But it seems like there's a few of these races, and we'll cover them all. But there's a few races that just aren't that great at betting races, and there's a few that are. So we'll hit them all. Let's go to race 6. And we agreed on an 8-1 piece here. That's surprising.
We
I actually
we
put him as
did.
my top pick and value because I couldn't find a value play that was better than.
Yeah, I kind of like when I saw you did that, I was like, oh, I'm like, well, I already
Yeah,
typed
yeah,
this out, so it's
yeah.
going there.
I don't know. I
I
don't know what the capping the card rules were officially with Matthew DeSantis, but
You can
I
make
mean,
new
my
ones now,
my
right?
value play probably would have been similar to yours, which would have been a shorter price. So I'm just like, I'm gonna double that thing up. The Irish
Yeah.
Bomb, Wakanaka, Billy Mott, Junior Alvarado. I don't know. This race is wide open again, and why not put a price
I
on it, babe?
I can't. I will be shocked if we actually
Yeah.
get 8-1 on this
Yeah,
horse.
it's not gonna be. It's not.
This
It's gonna be 4-1, 3-1.
at least like I get she's
That's
cutting
a
back,
bad
and
morning line.
I don't know if it's a bad morning line because of the like she hasn't run against competition at this distance before. She has won at the distance, but it was like in an allowance race in Italy
Yeah,
back
the
in
Euros don't
2020.
get the Euros because I think, and I'm guilty of this, so I know it for sure. People don't do like the deep dive that is
Mhm.
necessary into the Euro races to get the same, a translation of the performance. Matthew DeSantis, I keep going back to him. We already miss him. He's only been gone a week, but he's a Euro guy. He's a Euro guy.
Yeah, he is. I
And
love talking to Matt
that's
about
his
the Euros.
expertise. I learned a lot about that stuff from him. American racing, we both have big opinions, but when it came to European racing, I just kind of relented to him because he definitely did better than me. A lot of people just fail to recognize how much better they are, and a lot of times, and I think this is the case here with 8-1 morning line doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, and I get why the horse is 8-1 morning line. I mean, you have some horses here who've won some who've won some good races here that are sprints like at the distance. I mean, like our Flash Drive won here last year as a graded stakes winner. A Bubble Rock's a graded stakes winner on the turf. Like you have graded stakes winners here, so it's not like it's a bad field. I just think she's been running against some very good horses. I mean, she ran third last time to In Italia and Spenderella in a grade one. The time before that, she ran fourth behind Fluffy Socks in a grade two. Like
Exactly.
she's been running against some very good horses in her last. Like you have to go back to like Keeneland last year when she finally got away from like one of those like big Chad Brown type of turf runners, and she won a listed stakes easily. I mean, she ran against Modern Games last year.
Yeah, it's upper echelon type horse running in a non-upper echelon type race.
Right, exactly. That was
8-1
my
morning.
feeling. Yeah, that was my feeling on it.
Yep.
And the other mod, I just think is going to get forgotten. The other mod, the reason I put it as a value play, I just think she's going to get forgotten about on the board because I think this mod's going to take money.
So at
I think
8-1 with Wakanaka, 3-1 Poppy Flower, I think they're going to end up being similar.
Yeah, I do
post-timeouts.
too. I think they'll both be around like 4 or 5-1.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I
So
think
why
it's
not?
great value on. I think it's great value on both because I mean you do have some speed. Like you have some speed here. The one's going to send from the rail or at least press. The two is going to go. The three has some speed. At least the two mile horses are going to sit behind and they're going to turn for home and they're both going to have. Hopefully they both have a kick, and that's kind of how the turf has been playing this meet. There has been a few gate the wire horses, but a lot of the winners have been coming from, a length or two back, and I think that's right where these two are going to be. And I don't think the 5 is going to be as far back as previous races because she's not chasing in Italia.
What are your thoughts on Jose Ortiz on turf? I feel like he's gotten much better. I didn't used to really think he was.
Oh, I always have loved Jose on turf.
Yeah, he's got. I think he's even taken another step though. Like he's worldly elite now. I think
he's very good on turf.
Yeah.
I still remember one of the years for a couple of years, one of my favorite angles up there was playing Jose and Chad on the turf going over a mile. And like they were like at one point they had finished like top 2 like 15 times in a row. It was just like
Wow.
he's very good. Like sprinting, I don't think is really his strong suit on either surface. No. I think he's very good at 2 turns because I do think Jose is very good at judging pace. And I think that's why he's good at 2 turns. So sprinting's not really his thing, but he's very good at coming from off the pace. That's like what Jose does. Like he doesn't, I feel like he's very rarely on a horse that like you want to gun out to the lead and go gate the wire. You want him on a horse like the 4 who's going to sit behind a fast pace and he's going to try to make one big move.
Yeah, you're right. That's a rare occasion where a 3-1 morning line is probably going to drift upwards and create value here because the 5's going to come. They're going to meet in the middle, dude. I feel like that's going to happen. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. Let's keep things moving along. Race number 7. I have the 3-horse Chad Brown Flavian 9-2 morning line odds. And you went with the Cox and Giroux 5-1 morning line odds. So we're both reaching again here a little bit in race 7. We're giving you some prices, folks. You're not going to get a chalktastic event here, but I mean, what are your thoughts on race 7 at the Toga? And by the way, I guess we should jump into this at some point. How have you been so far at Saratoga? Because I'll be honest, I did Disney World last week. I've been sick. I have not played Saratoga nearly as much as I'd like. So I have not, I haven't jumped real hard into it. How's it been so far for you?
I've been having a very good meet so far. Opening day was great. I had the 21-1 Gary Contessa horse that it seemed like half the world was on. So I don't know how we got 21-1 on it in the Schuylerville. We had Whisper Not today was one of our 2 best bets of the day in race 9, who won at 14-1. Yeah, we've been having a very
that horse saved my day in the late pick 4.
Yeah, we've been having a very good meet. Haven't had like a awful day yet, so I know it will eventually come because there's no way
the fields are too stacked to avoid having a bad day.
It's too stacked to avoid it, and we hit the early pick 5 today on a pretty reasonable ticket, so we did.
What did that pay?
On that it only paid $218. It was pretty chalky, but we did have a couple singles in it, so it worked out.
Great.
Was not a bad day at all today, and it's been pretty good this meet.
So what attracted you to 7 of Dive Bomber, the Brad Cox horse here?
7 is a half to Botanical, who also Brad Cox horse. Yep. Cox has not had many runners up here. He had 2 today. One ran off the screen. The other ran 2nd or 3rd, I believe. He has not sent he has a barn up here, just hasn't sent many to the track yet. So again, like kind of the same angle as like the Chad Brown in the earlier race. He's debuting the half of one of his stakes winners, and she didn't run well in the Kentucky Oaks, but she's still a stakes winner. He's debuting her on a Saturday at Saratoga, and it's like he could have debuted her. He could have debuted her anywhere, and they pick a Saturday at Saratoga.
Yep.
Kind of under Yep, and they paid $400,000. Like Omaha Beach on top of that as a sire is off to a very hot start. He's like 40% or something like that as a first time out sire. So I don't think we see 5-1, but that's why that horse is my top pick.
And on the value plays, ended up with, and it's almost absolutely based on Pletcher and Ortiz, 8-1. And again, that is not going to happen either, because anything with Pletcher and Ortiz anywhere is not going off at 8-1. So I don't know. I wasn't confident in the value play here.
I feel like if the 2 wasn't Lucas, like this horse might see a little more action on the board. The 2 is a full brother to Anu de Oro, who like came in 2nd a few years ago in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Yeah, I believe he came in 2nd in the race that trying to remember who won that. It was a long shot winner, I believe. I think it was it Brittany Ayrton's horse? Her horse? I think yep. Came in 2nd by a head to storm the court, and then the next time out, came in 2nd to 1,000 Words in the Los Alaminos Futurity. Yep. So, I mean, I'm not expecting this horse to like end up being a stakes winner. It could be, but I'm not expecting it. But Full Sibling was good at 2. Was a stakes caliber horse at 2. And you're gonna give me 15-1. Like I'll roll the dice and hope that this horse does have some talent, and based on workouts, he does. A 2 back ran a bullet work out of 39 at Churchill, and then his 1 work at Saratoga, 5 out of 40. And for a 2-year-old, that's not terrible. So
where do you land on Kendi Carmouche, by the way? Like,
I like Kendrick on speed horses. I think he is he's an aggressive early. He's kind of like Saez to me, where he is an aggressive rider. And like if I see Kendrick on a speed horse, like I definitely,
if that horse has it, he's gonna get it done.
Right. Because I mean, I think Kendrick has gotten better. I don't think he's just good on speed horses anymore. I think more of Kendrick's issue at like just specifically at like this Saratoga meet is that but like he's guys like Lucas's first choice, but like he's not,
he's not getting the first option.
Right. He's not Chad's first choice. He's not Todd's first choice. He's not Mott's first choice. Like he's kind of everybody's like second, third, fourth call, except for with guys like Lucas and some of the other, like Lucas, like Contessa, like some of the smaller trainers. I use him.
He's
as
in
like
that I'm happy to be here mode right now.
Yeah, I mean he's
and who wouldn't? I mean it's
right. You got to earn your. You got to earn
NBA, bro. Like
right.
Yeah, I mean,
right. And like
there's only like that 1% of 1% that can get to that level. So
right, and like he could go. He's kind of like how Franco is at Saratoga. They spend these two they spend all year at Naira, and like they're like 1, 2, 3, like all they're like them and Jose are like 1, 2, 3 all year at Naira, and then you get to and same with Dylan, and then you get to Saratoga, and they kind of fall back a little bit in the pecking order, but they're still very good. So it's not like they're you put Kendrick at like Monmouth, and he's probably their top jockey.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So it's so he's not bad. I do like Kendrick a lot.
There's several jockeys around the country that fall into that category, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move to race 8. I couldn't get around the 1. I hate it at a 6 to 5 morning. Again, with my rule on Irad, I never bet Irad on a favorite unless it's a Chad. I couldn't get around them. 6 to 5 morning line probably will be 3 to 5 going off, something stupid like that. I hate this bet. It's a single possibility horizontally. Probably won't bet this race vertically, but where'd you end up? You took the 3 at 8 to 1. Oh, you got some confidence with Leslie there or what?
I like I do like the 3 here. I really like Sherry DeVoe on the DeVoe's horses on the turf. This one ran very good last time out. Broke his maiden, then came back at a mile and made up ground late. Ended up finishing 5th, but stretching back out to the distance that he won at. Broke his maiden at. I like horses stretching out on the turf. I don't know. My issue with the Chad entry is like I like the 1A more than I like the 1.
Yeah, I like the 1A too.
Yeah, like the 1A, like it scared me a little bit that they gelded it. I think that was kind of I'm not 100% sure, and that was kind of why I steered clear. Mm-hmm. Chad's had a couple of these so far in the last month and a half, like the 1, where they're coming back off of being in stakes races. And when he debuts them back in non-stakes races, they have not done well. So that was kind of my a couple have won, but then there's been a couple that just haven't moved. And that was kind of he had one today in the 9th race that Whisper Not won. That 7, I think, went off the favorite or second choice and was dropped. Coming back off of, I like the 7. It was coming back off of a stakes effort and throws it into a stakes caliber horse in a non-stakes race and just no-showed. And it's he's had a couple of those. So the fact that there have been stakes and this one's not in a stakes did worry me. But I mean, it would not shock me if the entry runs 1-2 here. I
agree.
Yeah. I know Sherry does. Yeah, Sherry doesn't have the biggest of barns, especially. I don't think she has a huge barn up here. So I think the horses she brought here are live. So that was kind of my reasoning for using the 3.
I threw the 7 in, another Irish horse, Waco for Wesley Ward, 10-1. Again, underneath play only. The horse isn't going to win. Maybe shows up for a price, maybe second, behind the 1 and 1A. I don't. Who knows what's going to happen? But with Jose and Irad, the way they work together a lot of times, and I don't know. I just felt like that was the best value in this race, and I don't know. This was another race where it felt like there was 3 or 4 horses I could throw in as a value play, and could hit a try, but they're not going to win the race. So you ended up on the 4 scramble at 8-1. Tell me why.
Yeah, he's run against some decent horses in the past. He ran against Calic 2 back, who ended up winning a stakes, I believe, next time out for Chad. He ran last year. He ran against like General Jim, who ended up being okay. Ari Gold, who ended up being okay. Ran today, did not run well. Ari Gold, but
yeah, I saw that.
The horse has been running okay this year. 4 starts, hasn't missed a board yet. Also gets Lasix for the first time today. And sometimes I like seeing horses that get Lasix for the first time after they've been running well without Lasix. It's just one of the it's something that can jump them up a little bit. So the fact that this horse has run well without Lasix and now is getting Lasix, you're gonna get 8-1 on the morning line. Leparoux, it's on turf, so the one time I'm kind of okay using Leparoux.
Those 2 jockeys, if I just look at your little
I know it's right, makes you cringe. And at
8-1 a piece, so all they got to do is get home in the third,
right.
And I'm happy.
Tag does not have a big barn anymore.
No.
He never does. So the horses he sends out here at Saratoga, they usually run okay. Especially the ones that have been running okay before. So I'll take a shot here that this horse is all right.
And I've got no more confidence in my 10-1 number 7 than you do with the 4 of the tag horse, so I get it. Let's move to race 9. I went with another favorite. Brad Cox. Wet Paint has been a monster at times. I don't know. It just felt like the best horse by a mile to me. At 2-1, you picked Gambling Girl at 4. Talk to me about that. Why? I mean,
I love Gambling Girl, and she is
by
great.
the numbers. Would you agree the 2 Wet Paint is by the numbers?
My
digitally
issue
speaking.
Yeah, win wise this year, yeah, but pure if just speed figure wise, I think Gambling Girl is just better.
Close.
I just don't think Gambling Girl's last 2 races, she just missed in the Gazelle, lost to a bomb after she did she did a ton of work there in that race, and didn't look like she was gonna get there, and she almost did. And she almost stole the Oaks. Pretty mischievous out of that ended up winning next time out as well. So, she lost to a very good horse there, but I was on Gambling Girl that day in the Oaks too. She just hasn't had the race luck yet. But
let me clarify. I wasn't saying that you were wrong.
That's why I went with. I don't like Wet Paint at all in this race.
Wet Paint is like it's like, here I go. You ready for this? It's like you saying LeBron's better than Michael Jordan. It just isn't so. It's you can argue it, and there's cases to be made, but
and she could beat me. But
that was on the angle you're looking at.
Yep, and
I don't want to bet Wet Paint.
Right.
I don't want to. I really don't.
Yes.
But
so I'm giving Gambling Girl another shot here. And especially since it's Pletcher at Saratoga.
Right.
I can't.
The
horse I was hoping was going to run in here is not in here, so I'm kind of upset by that. I forget how to say her name. It's the Tacitus's sister there, Scalia or whatever. Celia.
Oh,
yeah. She missed a couple workouts, and she I think they'll point to the Alabama with her, but I was hoping this would be kind of her coming out party, and then she missed a couple works, and I was like, oh, she's not going to make it. So
I landed on the 9-2 morning line, number 1 South Lawn for the value play. Norm Cassie, Florent. You landed on the 3 Sacred Wish at 10-1. G Weave Manny Franco. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, Sacred Wish was entered in a race last week here and scratched. I just think she makes sense. So like at 10-1, I don't see why she's that much worse than a couple of these. The one the one is a horse that I almost used as this value play too.
Yeah,
But
I was going to talk to you about this before we did this too. Like, what encompasses a value play?
yeah,
It's right there between like 4 and 5-1 because otherwise it's not a value play.
I
9-2 is kind of on the edge, so
yeah,
I respect that.
Yeah, like she ran second in the Gulfstream Park Oaks, and then they ran her back in the Black Eyed Susan at Pimlico, which is Pimlico is just a weird track. She was stuck inside. She was stuck inside and had a bad day. And then they come back, like she comes back in the slop at Belmont, and she loses to Sunset Louise, who won won easily last. I think it was like a 3-horse race because it got rained off the turf. I mean, she still won next time out, and she won easily. So it's not like she lost to a bad horse. And I just think I feel like there's a couple horses in here, like Southlawn. Southlawn seems to be like she has been if she runs well, she runs great. When she doesn't run, like when she doesn't show up, she's just not there.
Jacqueline Hyde, yeah.
Right. So just kind of like there's a couple. Same with Gambling Girl. Yeah, Gambling Girl's last 2 races have been very good. If she regresses to that Honeybee, she's not going to hit the board. So it's like, like
I will say this though: your 3 value play is not going to be 10-1. It's probably going to be like 20-1.
Right.
But which makes it a better value play than.
And that was kind of the other reason I landed on Gambling Girl, because I assume that Wet Paint is going to take money for Brad Cox.
Even money.
Yeah, and Hoosier Philly
is going to take wild money too. Yeah.
Right. She's going to take wild money, and either of them can win. But if you're going to give me I'm going to get the runner up. Gambling Girl's
going to be third choice at like what 7-2. 4-1?
Right. You're going to give me your runner up in the Oaks at that price. I will take it. I will gladly take it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
There you go. Let's go to race 10. There's 2 more to go here. We're closing it off. And here we go. I have Talking Pharaoh. And I don't think I need to explain this Linda Rice, Jose Ortiz deal again. And again, I landed on the top pick and value play because it's 10-1 morning line. And I just can't fade that combo right now. Linda Rice is on fire. Call it what you will. Very skillful trainer or whatever you want to call it. But she's on point right now. And Jose is working well for her. So talk to me about a la carte, the 9-horse.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on Talking Pharaoh. I think Talking Pharaoh is going to be. There's no way this horse is going to be 10-1.
It's stupid that they even did that.
Yeah, a la carte is coming, is getting back on the dirt. Mott tried the turf last time with this horse, and I really don't I don't know if it was to get a race in or something, or just to fit the conditions. But I just don't think this horse liked turf. Going back, the 3 dirt starts have been solid. Granted, they've slowly gotten worse numbers wise on dirt, but gets back to one turn on the dirt. And I just think the horse makes sense here at a price. And that was kind of my reasoning. I didn't love the Chad Brown horse. That's the morning line favorite for the reason I said 2 races ago. When he's debuting when he's bringing these stakes horses back in non-stakes races, they haven't been running fantastic. So he's got another one here with Accretive.
Yeah, I will say the 9 that your top pick here, 8-1 probably will go off legitimately near that too. It's not a horse that's going to get bet down.
Yeah,
there's a couple others that are going to take the money.
Yeah, the 6 was almost my top pick in here because I don't know what has happened to this horse since Rudy claimed it, but this horse has found new life under Rudy.
Yeah. We can read between the lines on that. We don't need to say it, just like with Linda.
But Rudy's been he did have a winner today that was probably should not have won if the one horse didn't get scratched at the gate. That horse crawled home.
Oh yeah.
Today, but he's been ice cold too. So it was well, that was kind of my reasoning. I didn't put the 6 on top here. Is that Rudy's just been been cold. And then I still love, I think after talking Pharaoh 1 last weekend, everybody was like, I think like David Aragona was just like, what can't Linda Rice do? She got this horse. She got this horse the rate. It's like, like
It's a
it just,
very skillful trainer.
yeah, like
It's kind of like the Knicks Go. I always reference Knicks Go with like the miracle improvement that Knicks
the
Go.
miracle turnaround.
Miracle.
Yeah.
That horse was
Oh,
like the most average 3-year-old Derby prep horse I've ever seen.
Yep.
A great horse, don't get me wrong, but just turned into a world beater pretty much overnight.
Yeah. Yep.
Wild. Let's close it out, Vinny. Let's go to race 11. And I'm going to tell you right now, I couldn't land on anything. And you're going to see it in my numbers here. A 15-1 total bomb, the 11 horse, St. Selby, 15-1, Bob Beatrice, Kendi, and we're sending a bomb. If I'm betting horizontals here, folks, I'm betting deep. We talked, there's a few single availabilities there, like if you're playing a late pick 5. This ain't one of them. Race 11, wide open to me. Maybe you're more confident with that Linda Rice Jose in this race. I wasn't, but I mean,
yeah.
Talk to me about this race. It felt really wide open. That's why I reached for a 15-1 piece.
Yeah, I think that if these this is one of those horses, I think with the one with Linda and Jose that he has to send, and if he doesn't get the early, if he doesn't clear early, this race is wide open. If he can clear on this horse early, I don't know if there's anybody good enough to catch him.
Yeah.
This horse definitely seems like the speed of the speed here, and if he can clear on this horse, I think it's going to be dangerous for everybody. Horse has 3 wins at the distance in his career, so they're cutting back to 6 after the last race was 6.5, and that's kind of as far as this horse wants to go. The bottom fell out last time after 6, so I just didn't really see confidently who else was going to really press him or try to press him. So
yeah,
that was,
I get it. I can't blame you. The only reason I kind of stood off that was because it's just a little bit too wide open for me to bet a horse at 7-2 in this field. So I was just like, panic button, 15-1 sounds good to me. But I mean, again, if I'm betting these horizontally with the late pick 5 or something, I'm going, I don't know, 5 deep easily. So I don't know. How are you on the just call Ray, the 8-1 horse?
Yeah, this horse it's kind of the same, my same logic I used earlier. This horse has a very good late pace number, and there's a couple horses in here. If the one, for some reason, somebody heads the one early,
if the one falls apart, then yeah,
yep, it falls apart. Like this horse can come. I think this horse can come from the back. Santana's not fantastic on closers, in my opinion. Small barn connections though. So, and like that's I was just saying this to somebody today because my buddy, a bunch of my buddies were going to my one buddy's bachelor party this weekend, and so we were all at the track today, and they were my one buddy was just asking about like well, why doesn't everybody just bet this like Irad Ortiz here if he just wins all the time? And it's like, well, like other like smaller meets, like yeah, like that's what people do. But like Saratoga, you get some of these small barns that they're like, hey, we want to win one race at Saratoga this year. So everybody like that's what makes right, and that's what makes Saratoga so hard. Like for even as as a horse player, because you have horses shipping in from all over, and everybody's sending their A horse here.
Yeah, it's like Keeneland. Keeneland's
right.
like that too.
Yep.
You're right. Like, because like Gulfstream or something on the off season, like Gulfstream, I mean, Irad's going to win half the races, dude. I mean,
right.
But like when Irad's at Saratoga or Keeneland, Edgar Zayas is God. I mean, like guys like that, they step up and but yeah, you can't just chase Irad because Irad goes where the biggest names go.
Right.
And in this case, it's him against the other top 10 guys in the world. Or in the US at least.
Right.
So yeah, I get it.
And like you get you get connections who are just like, hey, like our horse is going really good right now. Like let's find a spot at Saratoga and see like if he continued, like if they can continue to improve. Whereas like I feel like, you have other meets, like that's where like you see like when Brittany Russell ships horses up here from Maryland, they usually take money because it's like, okay, well, Brittany Russell's taking the time to ship this horse up here when she knows this horse could win easily in Maryland. Like the connections want to win at Saratoga.
Yep.
So it's like when you see guys who, when you see small trainers, I mean, not that Jeff Hills is that small. He's at 112 starters this year, but it's not like he doesn't have a starter every other day here at Saratoga. He'll maybe have 10 or 12 this meet. So, and he's already got one win. So
he's at the point where he's spending money to be there. So
right. And that's what some of these trainers do. So it's like, especially on big days, like, I know everybody complains when it's chalk on big days, but hey, every now and again, like you get like on these undercard races or like the non-stakes races, like you get a horse who steps up from a smaller track or steps up in class and just runs huge. Cause it's like, yeah, like this is only a 30 claimer. Like this is only this race is a 25K claimer, but like there's a chance at a small barn on like a big day, this is the best horse in their barn and they're willing to lose the horse for 25,000 to get a win at Saratoga.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
all right. Well, Saturday's a good card, 11 races. We just covered them all. Anything to close it out, man? Let's keep the winning going for you. I'm leaning in hard here. I'm going to play Monmouth on Saturday, obviously too, but I will play this card pretty hard.
Who's your Haskell play?
I think Extra Añejo.
I love him on Saturday. He is my top pick. I'm playing him with Arabian Night, and that is it.
That's it. Those two. That's it. I agree 100%. Not jumping on the maid. Tapit Trice was my horse early in the season. I was done with him after
he burned me in the he burned me so bad in the Belmont that I'm just like I
compared him to that. He's a tractor trailer pulling a trailer behind him out of the starting gate. Like you can't. He's wildly fast when he gets up to speed, but it takes him a half hour to get up to speed.
Yeah, he's a downhill horse. He's got to get going. Yeah. He's got to get going down it. Which is
I'll never bet him
again. I just thought it was weird they sent him to Monmouth. Like he seemed like his running style makes it seem like the gym. Like I felt like Forte would like suits the Haskell better with his running style.
Forte's
and like
versatile, dude.
And you let he is, but like I feel like that like Saratoga like generally, unless you're much the best, usually does not play to a horse going gate to wire. So you have that whole stretch to unwind at Saratoga for his big run. It just made it made so much sense. I thought to send Tapit Trice to the Jim Dandy, and then they didn't, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I guess Rapoli really wants the Jim Dandy because that's Forte. So it makes sense. Like it makes sense why they're flipped. But like if he runs well if Tapit Trice runs well in the Haskell and they wheel him back in the Travers, I think you have to consider him just because of how Saratoga plays usually. He's got that.
I won't bet him until he does something right because he's whatever that prep was when he ran everybody down from
the
5
bluegrass,
miles behind.
Yeah.
I loved him. I fell in love with him. And I knew it was it wasn't much of a field that he beat that day.
Yeah.
But I was like, if this horse could just be trained out and learn how to start, he's going to be like generationally good. And he couldn't. He struggled in the Derby, struggled in the Belmont.
That's how the Tapits are. Tapits are just their head cases.
God damn, because I was all over him. I took a lot of shit for Tapit Trice. I won't bet him again. And Mage was just a shit show in the Preakness. I don't know what happened, but
I don't think he's. I think he.
I love Mage in the Derby, dude. Loved him.
I don't think we'll ever see as good of a race out of Mage as we did in the Derby. I think that was it. I'm very curious. I don't think he wins on Saturday. And I know they said they were using it as a prep to get to the Travers, but I am very curious with how he looks. Like if he's not even in the picture on Saturday, what they do with him.
I don't think he's got a shot.
I don't either.
More Tapit Trice aren't on my card.
I'm literally. I love Extra Añejo. I was actually hoping they would run and this is a part of the reason I really like Extra Añejo is that he still fits the conditions to run in the Curlin. So I thought he was going to run. I thought they were going to run Disarm in the Jim Dandy and run him in the Curlin on Friday as a prep for the Travers. And they said, no, we're going to go right to the Haskell with this horse that doesn't have a stakes win. Like, that's just like, and we're going to send our 3-year-old that's been running really well and just won the Matt win. We're going to keep him at Saratoga for the Jim Dandy. Like, I feel like I feel like Extra Anejo is just sitting on a monster effort.
Extra Anejo is either going to win or Arabian Night's going to lap the field. That's my take. I don't think anybody else has a shot.
Me either. I agree with you. I'm very excited to play that exacta because I think I think if Extra Anejo
are going to take money.
Yeah. I mean I don't think Extra Anejo is going to take a lot of money, which is why I really like him. He's 5 to 1 on the morning. My only fear is
that Arabian Night just runs away and hides by a mile.
And he very well might. But even that exacta, like, you're going to get Arabian Night who's the favorite over the 4th choice. You might get 8 to 1.
No, I'm saying if he runs away, though, the other horses might just turn into a shit show. You know, when a horse runs away by a mile, a lot of times, the other horses just quit.
Yeah, but
so I don't know.
He could. He did. That was my thing. I'm like, if I can get like 8 to 1 on this exacta, like, I will. Be
dude. Yeah, I'm betting that way too, and I'm boxing it because I think Extra Anejo could win.
Yep, I'm
those
doing
two.
The same.
I'm boxing them.
Yep, I'm doing the same thing, and I'm playing Extra Anejo to win. So I'm pretty confident in how good Extra Anejo is going to run. So hopefully it works out.
Hell yeah, man. So we got that on Saturday. We got a good card at Saratoga. Vinny, I will probably come up and see you this summer, probably later.
Sounds good.
Toward the fall, but
sounds good.
Good to hang out again, man. Let's get some luck going. Good luck, everybody, on Saturday at Saratoga. Peace on earth.